Hey everybody, welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome to Robbie Rants Live. In particular, this is the show where we're going to chat live about comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. What's up, S Squared? How you doing? Happy to see you in here. One of our best followers, one of our best friends, to be honest with you, one of the best friends of PCP. Once you're in here, let me know that you're here. Let me know if you can hear me. First of all, I always have worries that nobody can hear me or anything like that. But I am Rockin Robbie Billups. I, of course, am the creator, founder, host, all that jazz here of Pop Culture Philosophers. Thank you, Slime. How are you doing? It's good to see you. But I'm here representing Pop Culture Philosophers. We, of course, do the weekly comic book review here on the channel. A lot of people make it their way to the channel because of that. So we're going to lean into that heavily. Of course, we're going to be talking about comic books, pop culture, and a whole lot more. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. What's up, Hammer Time Whole Shoe? Talking about the excitable PCP crew. How you doing, homie? Really looking forward to the 60s Sci-Fi podcast. I was looking at it. Man, that's going to be probably, to me, I think to all of us, the toughest top 5 we've ever done. Why? Slim pickings, homie. I think it's slim pickings. Anyway, so I am here. Whole Shoe's in the building. That's really, really cool. So me and John founded Pop Culture Philosophers. Here we are with Robbie Rants Live. So there you go. Pardon my excitement, but I'm excited. Thank you, Iron Galactus, who still has my favorite name out there. Today we'll be talking about the upcoming comic books this week that release on Wednesday, June 26th. We'll be talking about Vertigo, wrapping up the sun setting on Vertigo. And, of course, DC Inc. and DC Zone. We'll be talking about J.J. Abrams and Son on Spider-Man if you want to. We'll be talking about Twitch. Should PCP launch a Twitch channel? Well, maybe we are looking into it, so we'll be talking about that. We'll be celebrating the 30th anniversary of Tim Burton's Batman. I have a special question of the day involving hot dogs. And then a little bit of show and tell. And for show and tell tonight, I'm going to be showing off some of the things that I got signed or that I purchased at Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. What's up, Bawana Beast? How are y'all doing? Everybody's coming in. We're about to start. We're about to get live. We're about to start talking about what is coming up in comic books this week, Wednesday, June 26th. We will start with Dark Horse. But as a reminder, everybody, we do this channel, we get to do these videos simply because of you. You watching this video right now, you giving a thumbs up, you liking, you subscribing, all that stuff. That is why we do what we do. If you want to go further, you can always do so in your support at patreon.com/PCP or at the tip jar down at the bottom of the chat screen there. It's a little square with a $sign. Most people use that so because it highlights your comment and that you can get it in and I can see it, but I will try to respond to everything. What's up, Jam Sessions? Because straight up, what we're doing here is chatting together about our shared love of pop culture. We're doing so in a positive sense. So if you have a question, if you got a comment, throw it in there. I'm going to do my best, 100%, on responding to that comment. So throw them in. I don't feel like you have to pay for it. But if you want to support the channel, by all means, you're already doing it by watching this video. Anyway, we're about to get into comic books of this week. But the first thing I want to ask everybody is, what was your pick of the week last week? Last new comic book day, what was your pick of the week? What was mine? That's not Sonata week. What was it? Oh, my goodness. I'm trying to think back. What's my pick of the week? Someone here knows, I'm sure. And be sure to crush that like button. Thank you, Bawana Beast. The room looks decent from the perspective that you see. Over there, it looks very impressive and at the same time very chaotic and just obstructive. It's really chaotic right now. You picked Sonata 2 weeks in a row. What was my pick last week? Little Bird. Duh, of course. It was Little Bird. It was Little Bird. I think every issue of Little Bird has made the pick of the week. I have to verify that, but I'm pretty sure. And if that's so, it may be the only one to really do that. Generation Gone had like maybe 3 out of 5 picks of the week. S Squared said his pick of the week, as well as Chris, Gideon Falls 14. Yeah, that's a great book. That was a fantastic book. I think it was my number 3 on my top 5. Yeah, American Carnage #9 is the final issue. It was always planned to be the final issue, though. So we'll talk about the Vertigo stuff here in a bit, but it does seem sad that it's ending, and it is. It's Brian telling the story once. He said on Twitter that he maybe thought about going in a longer direction for it, but he just felt like the story got bloated. So he's telling the story he wants to tell, and that's what's good. And this was already in the works before the whole Vertigo shakeup. It just really sucks because just like a year ago, whenever it was, right? Vertigo had set itself up for a resurgence and that it was going to be something remarkable, something really, really cool, right? But it didn't really happen. But anyway, B'wana Beast. That over there is not quite so cool looking as this is the actual set. It's my excuse. It's the set, so it's the part that looks the best, right? But anyway. But yeah, we're working on it. We're working on it. But thank you so much. What was your pick of the week last week? Mine was Little Bird #4. Others have said Gideon Falls #14. Bruce says Johannes. He says Guardians. Cool. Eddie, what's up? How you doing? Monty didn't get anything on Wednesday. Crazy. Thank you, B'wana Beast. I really appreciate that. I like it when someone gets my take. That's what the world is now, right? We're all sharing our takes on things, and we just try to see who digs it. Yeah, S squared. I look forward to the last issue too. Brian Hill's done a really excellent job with American Carnage. He's done a fantastic job. It's been really, really good. How many issues left of Little Bird? One more. 5 is the last. However, we already know through tweets that Darcy is working with Ian right now on another project set to come out in 2020. We've seen this. We've seen a tiny snippet of artwork, right? So it's cool to see the writer and the artist team up for something else, right? Because Little Bird is something really unique and very, very special, at least to me and a few others. But maybe they're working on another book that's in the world of Little Bird. And how cool would that be to take this world that's been built up in such an elegant fashion? This world of Little Bird has been built up through nuance, not through direct exposition or anything like that, but through artistic detail and through detail in the script and in the dialogue. Like the book has built up this world in and of itself without strictly just coming out and just straight up telling us about this world. So I love this book, and I would love to see more tales told in this world. I would love to see anything by Van Polgeest and Bertram, though, to be honest with you. They are so magnificent together. You add in Matt Hollingsworth on the colors and Aditya Bidikar, the best letterer in comic books. And I know a lot of people don't usually think about lettering in comic books, but it is so important. It is so, so important. And do not take for granted the lettering in a book like Little Bird. The lettering is fantastic. It's amazing. Same letterer as These Savage Shores and Maxwell's Demons. It adds an element to the art, to the experience, to the flow. So pay attention and appreciate your letterers. Bruce says Guardians are the best. Superman Year One and Batman tied for least favorite. Yeah, I didn't really dig too much on those issues either. There was part of me that liked the new issue of Batman, part of me that didn't. What's up, Atari? How you doing? Little Bird 2, Little Bird. Two Bird. Why not? Let's do it, right? Once again, hit that like button if you're liking what you're seeing. What jumped off the page for you in DC solicitations, Marvel? I don't know if other companies have released theirs yet. Well, I've seen the Marvel and DC solicitations. Let me look back at the weekly pop culture wrap-up. The ones that were released. King Thor is going to be cool. The number one thing about the Marvel solicitations that excited me was the fact that Dwayne is back as Night Thrasher in the pages of Matthew Rosenberg's Punisher. Very excited for that. That was the thing that excited me the most. Outside of the big two, I really got pumped up about some of the Vault news. The Plot, Relics of Youth, very excited about those ones. Very, very excited. Very excited. Yeah, One God Tank, how are you doing? I read Psylords #1. It didn't really pull me in. Didn't really do much for me. I wanted it to. It didn't, though. So J.J. Abrams doing Spider-Man, maybe setting up him to do FF or X-Men movies. Well, let's get this straight. J.J.'s not really doing Spider-Man. Little Henry. No offense or disrespect to Henry, man. He's a 20-year-old man. Henry Abrams is writing this book. J.J. Abrams is using his name to help his son write this book. That's what's happening, right? It happens. Marvel does this a lot. They bring in someone from Hollywood, someone attached to someone from Hollywood. They'll bring them in. They'll try them out. I just think, no matter what you think about, and we'll get to this, no matter what you think about claims of nepotism or anything like that, do we really need another Spider-Man book right now? We have quite a few Spidey books right now, and they're all pretty solid. Most of them, they're pretty solid. There's some for everyone right now as far as Spider-Man goes, it seems. So, do we really need another Spider-Man book? I would prefer, and I said this in the weekly pop culture wrap-up, and I'll say this later, I would prefer another book from another perspective on another character. I'd prefer a Blade book. I'd rather have a Blade book, 100%. I'd rather have a new Warriors book that took the idea that Nicieza and Bagley had in the early 90s and apply that to 2019. It's kind of what Jim Zub right now is doing on Champions. But I would rather have a new Warriors book, right, than a new Spider-Man book. I would rather have a new Hawkeye book, talking about Kate Bishop in particular. I would rather have so many other books, a Heroes for Hire book starring Luke Cage and Danny Rand. I'd rather have a Daughters of the Dragon book starring Colleen and Misty. I'd rather have those books at Marvel right now. A Rage book, a Darkhawk book. I'd rather have those. A Ghost Rider book, right? Over yet another Spider-Man book written by J.J. Abrams' son. That's just me. Maybe we covered my thoughts on it already, but there you go. In France, there is a hardcover for Little Bird already out with all 5 issues. Didn't have it. I prefer to read it in English, but good for the other. That's pretty nifty. I know that it's being released here in the U.S. in a hardcover first. Darcy Van Polgeest, the writer, has been nothing but a scholar and a gentleman to me personally during this whole experience. I got a look at Little Bird very early. I got an early bird look at Little Bird. I got to read it a few months before it came out because of Dennis Camp. Dennis Camp is the writer of Maxwell's Demons, which is a fantastic comic book. He's a Twitter homie of mine, I consider, at least. He introduced me to Darcy online. And Darcy's been the best. And Little Bird is something so amazing and so good. And it's rich and layered. And I don't want to get into spoilers, but let's talk about this real quick. A book that can take... So it's something we take for granted in comic books because comic books are dominated by superheroes is death, right? Death and rebirth. Not only do we take death itself, the actual effects of death, and the consequence of rebirth, not only do we take that for granted, we take the mythology of death and rebirth for granted in comic books. It happens so often. Why does this happen so often in stories that are perpetual and ongoing? And it's not just comic books. Look at Supernatural, it's a huge TV show, right? Death, resurrection, so popular. It's a theme in story that we tell. It's a theme in mythology. It's a theme in religion. That is so important, so real, right? That a lot of comic books, nowadays, especially in superhero books, it's taken for granted. And so the idea to make it feel different is to take death and make it real and cold and real. Life. Little Bird does things with death and resurrection and rebirth and burial and all the whole thematic idea about what it all represents to us as a collective humanity throughout all of our cultures, throughout all time. Little Bird does that so well. Really, really does. So well. So well. And that is one of the things that amazes me most about that book. That book is so rich, detailed, not only in plot, script, artwork, coloring, lettering. Every piece of that book is perfection. It's my favorite book of 2019 right now. I saw Batman's Bookcase over on Twitter. If you don't follow Batman's Bookcase on Twitter, shame on you. You definitely should. You should definitely check out his website too, Batman's Bookcase. He's my favorite writer on comic books. Zach has a perspective on comic books that is rare and something truly, truly revelatory. It's really, really good stuff that he does. So check out his stuff. Absolutely. I have gone a little bit farther than you guys. Let's see. What's up, Comics Blaster? Comic Blaster 74. How are you doing? I love it when I get to talk to a new subscriber directly like this. Thank you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy what you got here. And if so, share it. Share it around. Spread the word. But thank you so much. And thank you all for welcoming him. Hell yeah. Yeah, Chris, I'm right there with you. I love Vault's vintage tribute covers. House of Secrets number 92 homage. That's going to be on the plot number 1. They're doing a Deadly Class homage on Relics of Youth number 1. And they just added an Adventure Comics 381, I believe. It's the first appearance of Supergirl in her own solo ongoing title. Right? That's significant. They're doing that on Sarah and the Royal Stars number 1, as well as Heathen number 1. So that's cool. Right there, Slime. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Taffer. Taffer? I'm thinking Taffer. What's up, Taffer? Fellow Alabamian. Don't judge us. We're from Alabama. Alabama's got a lot of beauty in it. And it's got a lot of ugly in it, right? I think like most places in our country, in our world, there's good and bad. Why am I going off about Alabama right now? If you read the first issue of Southern Bastards by Jason Aaron, who's from Jasper, Alabama, he put in like an essay at the back of that. I don't know if it's in the trade or not. He did an essay about what it was like, the beauty and the ugliness of Alabama. And man, he nailed it. He nailed it right there. But I do love being from Alabama. What's up, Bruce? What's just the one shot? What are we talking about? See, this is the problem when I get behind. Oh, is the Spider-Man book just a one shot? It's just like a mini series, right? Something like that. I don't know. I'll read it. I'll read it. You know I'll read it. You know I'll read it. Let's see here. Not looking forward to the JJ Spider-Man, but I guess we'll see. That's what I'm thinking, S squared. Good comic's a good comic. We'll see. What's the best Batman to read? Someone's never read Batman. Batman Year One. Batman Year One. Frank Miller, David Mazzucchelli. Read Batman Year One. That's not only the best comic book to read for someone who's never read a Batman book. It's also one of the best comic books for someone to read that's never read a comic book. Read Batman Year One. If you like Batman Year One, read Batman The Long Halloween. If you like that, read Batman Dark Victory. And from there, my friend, I would recommend Dark Knight Returns, Killing Joke, and then Go As You Please. Try them out. Pay particular attention to writers like Greg Rucka, Denny O'Neil, Chuck Dixon even, Scott Snyder. Absolutely. Yeah, Ghost Rider would be great. New Warriors would be so cool. Yeah, we don't have a Spider-Woman book. We got Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider. That's the Spider-Woman book that we have right now. But we don't have one for Jessica, but she's going to be in Strike Force, which is going to also have Blade. So that's kind of cool. Strike Force, the Avengers Strike Force book is almost like the people they want to have solo titles that they don't think can quite make them last. Spider-Woman, Winter Soldier, Blade, Angela. Let's throw them all together, right? That's the idea. Little Bird sounds a little too real for me. I need to escape those thoughts, kind of. I understand that. There's a lot of Little Bird that seems too real. But I think it's also important to infuse stories that are real and of relevance in current day situations and infuse them with this idea. Let's see how they stick the ending. Depending what Darcy, Ian, Matt, Aditya, what they do. Depends on how they nailed this ending. I have faith that they will. It's an important story to tell. It's an important story to experience. We just recently did a Steven Spielberg podcast. If you've never checked out our podcast, you totally should. You can find it on popculturephilosophers.com. You can also subscribe to things like iTunes, stuff like that. We're on there. So we were talking about Steven Spielberg, and we were talking about favorites. And I struggled about whether or not Schindler's List was one of my favorites. In the end, I left it off my list. Drew kept it on his list. I'm glad he did. Because that book may not be the most exciting. I mean, that book or movie may not be the most exciting thing to experience. It may not be the most fun. But stories like that are relevant. And to me, Little Bird's one of those type of things. But I understand for wannabes. There's plenty of room for escapist fiction out there. It's all over the place. And we celebrate it here on this channel. But more than just escape, it represents an ideal that we need to take back from that escape. It's not so much that we escape from reality, but that we escape for a minute to come back inspired about our reality. Does that make sense? That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Chris, I did meet Matt Fraction at Heroes Con. He was super cool. He was super cool. To be honest, I had a bad impression of Matt Fraction. And that's all out the window now. Matt Fraction's a pretty cool dude. And Kate Bishop is amazing. And he added so much to that character that Kelly Thompson took. And between Fraction and Thompson's work, Kate Bishop is one of my favorite characters in superhero comic books today. Straight up. Marcos, if you're talking about Little Bird, yeah, I totally love Little Bird more than the Immortal Hulk. There are a lot of comic books that are like more than the Immortal Hulk, though Hulk right now is one of Marvel's best titles. Absolutely. Chris, I'm right there with you. I'm digging pretty much everything Vault's doing. They're also really good people. Carl, what's up? Deep South Texas? Close? Fultondale. I have no idea where that is. You have a cousin that lives close to Huntsville. It's pretty cool. Well, if you're ever in the area, come to the Deep Comics and Games. You might see me there. But we'll treat you right. We got lots of comic books, lots of knowledgeable staff. Comic books, games, all that jazz. Any thought on Liefeld going off on DC? This is something Rob Liefeld does. It's just something he does. He has a better relationship right now with Marvel than he does DC, even though that's getting strained. He went off of Marvel not too long ago over the whole Major X first appearance type thing. This is something Rob Liefeld does. Maybe he does it to stay relevant. Maybe he does it because he's just passionate about the way he feels. But either way, this is just something he does. I don't give too much credence to what he said about DC, though. Absolutely. Oh, yeah, No Man's Land for Batman's great. It's great Greg Rucka stuff. Ed Brubaker came on a little bit after that. That's some good stuff to read, too. Yeah, more Southern Bastards excited. I'm a little bit behind. My opinion on Scott Snyder's Batman run. Okay, let's get to it. I love it. I think it's really good. It's a great definitive stance on Batman as a character. It was going to be really hard to follow up Grant Morrison. It's going to be very hard to do that. And Scott Snyder did it expertly. I think he did it in a magnificent manner. The Court of Owls have now become a staple in Batman mythology. So it has staying power. It has lasting power. His understanding of the character is there. Greg Capullo on the artwork, that is seriously the best artwork that Greg Capullo has ever done in his career so far, in my opinion, is his Batman work. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's good stuff. And I like the idea of what he did when Gordon became Batman. It's extending that idea that Grant Morrison proposed. That was Batman is an idea. Batman is a crystallized God, almost, if you will. It's like a God form, right? That's going to perpetuate. That's going to continue on. Batman will never die. And that's what he was telling with, first of all, Gordon becoming Batman, and also right now with his final statement along with Capullo on Batman with Last Night on Earth. He's telling that same story. And to be honest with you, Scott Snyder has become a better writer since he met Grant Morrison. I think Grant Morrison blew his mind in a very good way. And those of us that are huge Morrison heads, like I am, absolutely, minds get blown. Lives get changed. What writer-artist team would you want on a New Warriors book today? I would want David F. Walker to be the writer, or Brian Hill. I would like the artist to be Juan Ferreira. If I'm saying his last name correctly, probably not. Or Sanford Green, absolutely. But I'm loving what they're doing on Bitterroot right now. Those would be my picks right there. And bring back Mark Bagley for a one-shot every so often, right? Reggie, you're doing it to me again. You're getting me emotional. You're getting me super filled with gratitude. Reggie, you're awesome. Reggie constantly contributes to this channel in a way that just moves me. Thank you so much, Reggie. I really do appreciate that. I really, really do. Really, really do. Oh my goodness. Reggie, where are you from? I want to know. Where are you from? If I want to meet you one day in person, I'm gonna buy you a drink. I'll have a Tom Collins, depending on the bar. If it's a sketchy bar, I'll have a gin and juice. Or a gin and tonic, my bad, not a gin and juice. That was 13-year-old Robbie coming out right there. But yeah, I want David F. Walker or Brian Hill for the writer on a New Warriors book. I would love to see, I would love to see Green. I would love to see Juan on those books. That would be really fun. Reggie, you're the best. Cheers to Reggie, everybody. Throw it up for Reggie. Second trade for West Coast Avengers this week. Also, not quite there yet, S squared. Yeah, crazy. It's an expensive week for trade waiters. I'm really excited about Interceptor because I've never read it aside from that Free Comic Book Day issue, which blew me away, my pick for Free Comic Book Day. But Wannabe says that he loves Snyder's New 52 Batman. It was my first Batman solo comic and explained things well for me. There you go, right there. Extremity was the last book that hit me emotionally. I met the creator of Extremity recently. I didn't finish Extremity, but I did finish his Murder Falcon, and I loved it. Excuse me. So I definitely have to go back and check out his work on Extremity. Daniel Warren Johnson we're talking about. David Hatch is here. David, how are you doing? Just get up from a nap? Coco Mill, how are you doing? Cooking dinner. Love my shows? Thank you. I love that you love them. That's awesome. Comic Blaster really loved Why the Last Man. That's a good book. You know, it's one of those crazy things. I am considered among some to be, I hate to use the word expert on comic books or whatever, but someone who's in the know, right? I have never read all of Why the Last Man. I've only read the first 4 trade paperbacks. I've read all the way through Safe Word. I have never read the whole thing. And every time someone starts talking about it, like at the shop or in conversation when we're chilling out or just at the house or whatever, I'm, Do not talk about the end of Why the Last Man. I still do not know. I mean, I really need to get onto that because I'm surprised it hasn't been spoiled for me yet. I really need to get onto that. But yeah, I loved what I read. I just never finished it. Isn't that crazy? I'm excited that you're here, David. No, I don't think the Flash Forward mini is going to do anything to calm down people that didn't like Heroes in Crisis. I think a lot of us justifiably didn't like Heroes in Crisis because of structure issues with the story and some characterization. That was my problem with it. It was inconsistent, very inconsistent for me. I'm excited, I guess, to see what's going to happen with Wally West from this point forward, but with the creative team behind Flash Forward, I'm not super excited. But Wanda Beast, you're right on. It's exactly like reading Mouse. Did you watch the Comics Revisited that me and Brian Weaver did on Mouse? It was the last episode of season 1. Yeah, exactly. It's hard, but it's important. Found a Thor 390, X-Men 164. First binary with 3 other books yesterday at the local flea market, 5 minutes from the house. Never been there, but my fiance started working there. $10 for all 5. Well played, Terry. Well played. What's up, Mike? From Argentina. Super cool. How are things with you, Mike? Yeah, Terry, that's definitely a place you want to go back and check again, for sure. Taffer, a lot of people, including me, disagree on that one. I think that Donny Cates' Venom is really, really good. I think it's in competition with Hulk for one of Marvel's best titles right now. But everybody's got a different perspective. Check it again, though. Reread it. See what happens. Reggie's from Chicago. That's super cool. You know what, Reggie? C2E2 is a great show, and one day I want to go there. I'll let you know when I do. And Sanford's killing it on Bitterroot right now. I met him at Heroes Con. Super cool dude. A shining ray of energy. He was at the bar that we were hanging out. I didn't hang out with him, but he was at the bar that I was hanging out. What are some of the Year of the Villain one-shots you would like to see? Any new teams that DC does not commonly use you would like to see? I haven't really. I know there's a Sinestro one. That's interesting. I don't know. I would love to see something on Ocean Master. I would love to see something on Black Mana. I would love to see something on Darkseid. What's going on with Darkseid right now? Because I haven't been reading J-Lo. Like to see something about that, maybe. Home of the Bulls. I was a big Bulls fan in the 90s, like a lot of other people. We were all just ramped up on Michael Jordan, of course. What's up, MN? How you doing? New teams that DC does not commonly use that I would like to see. Well, they scratch that itch, especially with Young Justice. And the Outsiders. Man, I'm kind of JSA, but that's coming back, right? So there you go. How about JLI, Justice League International? How about that? Hey, what's up, Brett? How you doing? Glad you're here. I'll check out Extremity. I really should. Taffer, I will guarantee that one day Peter David will do another X Factor book. We'll see. Thank you so much, Iron Galactus. I appreciate that. I consider myself an ambassador, but I'll take that. David, I'm right there with you. To a point, there's not enough time in the day to read all the amazing comics that are out right now. But I will say this, David, priorities. Make comic books your number one priority. You'll get them read. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. You probably shouldn't do that. You should give priority to other things like your job and your family and life, paying bills. Or just straight up, just give it all to comic books. Well, Slime, I'm up on you if you've never read an issue of Why the Last Man. Oh, well, thank you, Boana Beast. Oh, And as a Jewish person, he says that he really appreciates, or they say that he really appreciates us doing an episode on it. Well, it's one of the most important comic books ever. So of course we're going to do it. But thank you so much for liking that episode. In that episode of Comics Revisited, which was the final episode of season 1, I finally figured out the rundown. I finally figured out the structure of Comics Revisited. If you look back at Comics Revisited season 1, we're kind of all over the place. Not necessarily with the books we cover. We covered way too much Venom to start off with, to be honest with you. But we did those, we recorded those 4 at a time, to be honest. So we just read a bunch of Venom comics, and me and Brooks would do 4 episodes. But the structure that is laid down in the last episode about Mouse, that's the structure that we're carrying on into season 2. And that's right. I've started production on Comics Revisited season 2. Don't have a release date yet. The first episode has been filmed. So there you go. The first episode includes me and Jelani. What's up, Kim Puke? Had to sell 2/3 of your collection off. Yeah, hashtag bummer. Absolutely. It sucks. It's necessary. It's something all of us as comic book fans go through. Having to sell stuff. It sucks. Here's something someone told me a long time ago that I've always held close to my heart. It's always helped me in situations like that. Anything you see, anything you love, anything you want, will come back around again. Ultimately, maybe not, right? Maybe I'll never in my life ever see another Centurion action figure in package come to me. Maybe not. But the idea that it'll come back around helps me through. It sucks. Sucks, Kim Q. Sorry for you. But I hope you get everything straightened out. You're never going to stop being a nerd, right? But just like you did, by the way, in the PCP Army, if anybody ever goes through one of those times where they have to unload parts of their collection, whether for space, whether for monetary reasons, or anything like that, PCP Army on Facebook, that's a place you can do it. It's cool. You can share your eBay pages. You can share what you got for sale. You can share your Facebook marketplace. All that stuff is appropriate in the PCP Army. Absolutely. As long as you are not someone who's just every day posting about stuff for sale. Y'all know the difference. What is your recommendation for upcoming independent comic books? What's up with Cullen Bunn's Knights Temporal? It was an Aftershock, and now yeah, I heard it's not. Now it's at Action Lab. I don't know why that happened. I remember when it got announced. So I'm not sure why that happened. Not sure. Cullen Bunn actually has had a really good run over at Aftershock doing stories that are based on biblical folklore and taking them and adding a neat twist to it. Like he did The Unholy Grail, which was good. My favorite is Dark Ark. He was one of those creators that I walked by him so much at Heroes Con and never went up there. I totally should have. Dark Ark was one of my favorite books. So I don't know why it's over there now. But Knights Temporal sounds great. Think about the Knights Templar, that whole idea. Throw in time travel. There you go. There you go. But yeah, recommendation for independent books. I would say exactly what S Squared saying right there. Gideon Falls, Paper Girls, they are amazing. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff, right? I would also recommend almost anything from Vault Comics right now. If you want to get in on the ground floor, there are 2 new books coming from Vault that are amazing. Sarah and the Royal Stars. If you like high fantasy, if you like survival horror, definitely go after Resonant. Both of those books release on July 17th. I have an advanced review right now on the channel. It's up. The video is available about Sarah and the Royal Stars, #1, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. my time, which is U.S. Central Time. My Resonant #1 advanced review goes up. Check those ones out. Good stuff. Gideon Falls, Little Bird, Farmhand, Middle West, Spencer and Locke. There's an upcoming one by the creator of Spencer and Locke, the writer. He's doing David Papose. He's doing a new one called Going to the Chapel. It releases this fall. Go ahead and get ready for that one. That's going to be really good. Killer Groove is a good one. The aforementioned Dark Arc is a good one from Aftershock. Check out Vault Comics, Aftershock Comics, Image Comics. Sonata is a new one at Image Comics, made the pick of the week 2 weeks ago. A new one from Image, a fantastic book. Check them out. And just follow the weekly comic book review here on the channel. And I'll point you in the direction of many good comic books. I promise you. Slime wants to know, not sure if I asked this before, but what do you do with boxes of comics you don't want anymore? I do a few things. Number one, sell them online. If something's hot, sell it. If it's heating up, sell it. Get the trade paperback. All I care about is reading. The only thing I collect, comic book wise, and never will let go of, it's Fantastic Four comic books. So sell your hot runs. Sell your Immortal Hulks. Get the trade. Get some classic Silver Age that you need. Get some old school Fantastic Four. Get some old school Jack Kirby. Do that, right? The other thing I do is sell them to a local comic shop. Sometimes local comic shops need things for filler. Sometimes if you've got keys, they'll pay you for it. You'll get the most money for keys online, obviously. You'll get decent at a good local comic shop. You'll get a decent amount. For stuff that you just can't get rid of, take it somewhere like Second and Charles, right? If that doesn't work, or going to your friends, asking them if they want anything, right? If that stuff doesn't work, or going into the PCP Army on Facebook and saying, I got some stuff to sell. If that doesn't work, give them to someone who's going to really get a lot out of them. Give them to a kid. Give them to someone who doesn't read a lot. Give them to someone who doesn't have a lot of perspective on the world. Give them to someone who you really think is going to enjoy them. Leave them at a doctor's office, a dentist's office. Leave comic books behind with all the shitty magazines that are around, right? Do that, right? Iron Galactus, I hope you like it. I really like it. I'm not the hugest fantasy fan, but Sarah and the Royal Stars was really good. I've read 1 and 2. Fantastic job. John Sway does a great job building up that world, adding so much lore, introducing the characters. And then Audrey Mock, the artwork is fantastic. Fantastic. It's got the perfect blend of the American comic book style and a manga influence, especially on the action scenes. It soars. It soars. Another point of the show where I have to remind you guys, hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. It really helps us out here at the channel. Well, Bowana Beast, not only was Cullen Bunn's Aquaman run, to me, subpar, he didn't get to finish it. He didn't get to tell his final story. His Marvel work hasn't been that awesome to me. His creator-owned work has been amazing to me. The first volume of Sixth Gun is the only one I've read. Great stuff. Dark Arc all the way through, amazing. So look, the Cold Spot. Well, no, not Cold Spots. It's Bone Parish, right? That's him, right? Check those books out. Amazing stuff. Ghost Tree's amazing. Ascender's amazing. Both of those books are really, really great independent titles, creator-owned titles to check out. Joe, I'm right there with you. That Power Rangers was awesome last week. Now, Sebastian, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. Just didn't want to set up. If you're talking about the angle tonight, I just didn't want to set up I just didn't want to do my setup. That's all. Absolutely kidding. Absolutely. If you're selling to a comic shop, expect half the value. If it's not something desirable, expect even less than that. Comic shops have tons of this stuff. I'm right there with you, kitten. Everything Vault is worth your time. I'm glad you think so. It's good stuff. So here's the time where I plug the PCP Army. I've already done it. But a few people here are members of the PCP Army. We have a lot of fun there. But Bowana Beast, you're not on Facebook. I understand. Trust me, I understand. You should stay off Facebook. If you are on Facebook, though, get over to the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers group on Facebook. We have a lot of fun there, sharing comic book news, movie news, pop culture news, memes, funny things like that. We help each other out. We look out for each other. We celebrate a shared love of pop culture, comic books, movies, and more over at the PCP Army on Facebook. So be there or be square Unless you're not on Facebook, then stay off Facebook. If you're on Twitter, you can follow me at the Rockin Robbie. Dave is representing the PCP Army. So is Alicia. Hey, Alicia. Joe has 2 issues of the silent issue of G.I. Joe from the Marvel run. With the Snake Eyes run? You talking about the Snake Eyes issue? Alicia's right. We do have memes over at the PCP Army, and we invite even more. Kitten says, death to Facebook and Twitter except for the PCP Army. I'm right there with you, buddy, except for I like to call for revolution, but I'm all a part of it now. Let's wreck it from the inside. I mistook Bunn for Alex Packnadell at C2E2. Asked him if he was a writer. He said, yeah. Alex Packnadell? He laughed. He said, no. He's a bald white dude, too, though. Yeah. Well, I met a white dude with a beard at Heroes Con that I thought for sure was Scotty Young. And I said, what's up to him? And I was like, hey, I just want you to know Middle West is your best comic book ever. And then he was like, hey, I appreciate that. I'll let Scotty know. It was his assistant. Same thing happened to Kevin Stokes, though. Kevin Stokes is my good buddy. He's also a professional comic book artist that lives here in town with me. He doesn't live with me, but he lives in the area where I live, I should say. Kevin's a good dude. And it was really funny that he had the exact same experience as I did, mistaking Scotty Young's assistant for Scotty Young. Yeah, the Snake Eyes Silent issue was great. So you went to Cullen Bunn to get your friendo sign. The one difference you can tell between Alex Packnadell and Cullen Bunn is that Packnadell has a British accent. Is Cullen Bunn British? I didn't talk to him, so I don't know. But Packnadell has a beard. This is a slight beard. So there you go. Yeah, I want to meet him so much. Alex has been a treasure to me on Twitter. He's been great. He's a cool dude. What's up, Bakari? Yeah, Thrasher's back on the scene. And Matthew Rosenberg completely confirmed that it is, in fact, Dwayne. Very excited for this. So excited. Cullen Bunn is Southern. There you go. There you go. At least he has an accent. Absolutely. Yeah, I got the blood cover for Venom, too. Yeah, just because. Why not? Man, bastard apparently is a word that I have to approve here. That's funny. All the negativity sometimes that I get in the comments, and I have to approve you guys saying bastard. That's funny. Batman Damned is getting a Funko Pop. I refuse to get it based off of principle. The Pop is not naked. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I refuse because it doesn't have the bat dong. Doesn't have the bat pole. Absolutely. Yeah, you knew as soon as he opened his mouth because he wasn't British. Yeah, that's all. I'm so sorry, homie. Did you have a Dark Arc? You should. Yeah, Dark Arc was great. You ever read it? It's good stuff. Alex is one of my favorite writers right now. I'm gearing up for the next big announcement from him. We just recently had an announcement about a book he's doing with Dan Waters, didn't we? Would that happen while I was at Heroes Con? What? I barely remember that. He mentioned something. Another one of his white noise compatriots. All 4 of those cats are the best. Seriously. They're like not only some of the best writers in comic books right now, in fiction right now, they are all like everybody I've met from Vault have been amazing. We've been going on for a while. I haven't even gotten to the new comic books. This has been a fun live stream. Thank you guys so much. And gals. According to Google, Cullen Bunn is from Harrow County. Well, that's appropriate, I guess. Absolutely. I haven't seen the Batman Damned Funko. I'm sure it's based on Berhamo's. I think it's based on his designs. He's got the same design he uses, doesn't he? Sebastian says, I think the problem with Cullen Bunn regarding the mainstream comics is that, and bear with me, he plays it safe. Now, does he play it safe, or do editors make him play it safe? When it comes especially to the big 2, you got to think of them. They're like corporate properties. So the editors have a lot to do. Basically, think about this. In the 90s, Marvel Editorial wrote the X-Men comic books for the majority of that whole decade. David's right. You can support PCP Goodness through Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can get access to the PCP After Hours show. Sometimes I do these video newsletters. Sometimes we give you early access. $1 a month is all it takes to unlock everything. Thank you, David, for reminding me. David is a supporter, by the way. He gets his name at the end of every video we do. He gets a shout out every month. And he gets more than one because he's just such a cool dude. If you want to go further into your indoctrination of PCP, join us at patreon.com/PCP. Tried finding the current issues of Kino. It's a great book. Get the trades. Get it digitally if you can't find them. It's good stuff. It's going to be hard to find it because it's a very severely under-ordered book. Oh, so he's not from Harrow County. I thought that would be funny. He's actually from some place in some state named Harrow County. Harrow County is a great book. I've never finished it. That's right. Join us. We have back issues. Let's see what's coming up from Dark Horse Comics this week. We're already into this show. We have Avatar number 5. Sway's Paths. This is something nobody asked for. Bad Luck Chuck number 4. That's the final issue. Fight Club 3 number 6 is out this week. Stranger Things 6 number 2. There you go. From IDW, we've got Kanto number 1. That's one to be on the lookout for. It's already sold out at Diamond. It's got a lot of pre-market hype. Get on board for Kanto from IDW this week. Crow and the Hack Slash Meat this week from IDW. Dick Tracy Forever number 3. Disney Afternoon Giant number 5. Eve Stranger number 2. Ghost Tree number 3. And new printings of number 1 and 2. It's a great book. You should totally check it out. Glow number 2. Maryland Manor number 1. That's a new one from Magdalene Visaggio. I'm really excited for that one, so be on the look for that. Road of Bones number 2, as well as the second printing of number 1. There are some books right there. And, of course, Transformers Ghostbusters number 1. Be on the lookout. And Punk's Not Dead, London Calling number 5. Be on the lookout for Road of Bones number 2. Maryland Manor number 1, about a spoiled brat first kid thrown into a crazy situation. Ghost Tree number 3. Eve Stranger number 2. And Kanto number 1. Be on the lookout for those from IDW this week for sure. From Dynamite, we've got Battlestar Galactica Twilight Command number 5, written by the writer of Wasted Space, Michael Morisi. Kiss End number 3 for Kiss heads out there. And that's what we got from Dynamite. Dynamite, right? From Boom Studios, we've got Avant-Garde number 6. Yes. Bone Parish number 10. That's a great book. I've been trade waiting it. Maybe I shouldn't. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 40. Be on the lookout because they're having those new foil covers with the heads, or not the heads, but the helmets. They're holding the helmets. Wouldn't that be macabre if they're holding their heads? I mean, weird. Number 40 is out this week. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is going to hit again like it did on Shattered Grid with that issue. Steven Universe number 29 is also out this week. What else do we got? We'll get to Image in just a minute, but let me mention some of the other publishers. But before I do that, let me look at your comments. You know what, Tapper? I'm actually going to disagree with you on that. I really like Brian K. Vaughan on Ultimate X-Men. I thought it was pretty interesting what he did with Cable, but it didn't really go anywhere. Yeah, I didn't dig so much the first Hulk stuff from Miller's new Ultimate Avengers run, but I love the Blade stuff. Good writers bombing on big books, it happens. The Ultimate run, though, the Ultimate books have some really great runs. Bendis's Ultimate Spider-Man run it's one of the best superhero comic books from start to finish out there, is Ultimate Spider-Man by Brian Michael Bendis, Mark Bagley, and company. Fantastic stuff. Mark Miller's initial run on Ultimate X-Men is good. His first 2 volumes of Ultimates are amazing. But it's usually the there it goes again with the bastards. Anyway. Yeah. Some of those Ultimate books, especially the early ones, are really, really good. Really good. We've got also this week Angel number 2, At the End of Your Tether, number 1. It's a new one from Lion Forge. We got Battle Cats Volume 2, number 2 from Mad Cave. Bloodshot Rising Spirit, number 8. Category 0, number 2, of which I got an early look, and it's awesome. Dark Red, number 4. Goon, number 3. Invader Zim, number 44. Killer Groove, number 2, of which I got an early look, but I haven't checked it out yet. Nobody Is in Control, number 2. Be on the lookout for that one. Punk Mambo, number 3. Samurai Grandpa, number 1, is a new one from Source Point. Steel Cage, number 1, is a new one from Ahoy Comics. And like I said, Road of Bones, number 2 is amazing. I have read that one already. From Vault, we have 3 trade paperbacks this week. Fearscape, Interceptor by Donny Cates, and Wasted Space Volume 2. You should totally buy all 3 of those. I'm not even kidding. There you go. I'm super excited for those. Also, trade paperback-wise, we got one from Scout Comics called Metal Shark Bro. I hear very good things about that. They were at Heroes Con. I didn't meet them. I should have. But there you go. New Space Riders apparently this week. That's cool. That sucks, Joe. Yeah, Jason Latour is a writer-artist. I know as an artist, all I know is Southern Bastards. That's a great book. As a writer, all I really know is some issues of Southern Bastards and Spider-Gwen. Joe, I hope Wolverine vs. Blade is good. It's basically something Guggenheim had planned already until his Blade run got cut short, like about, what, 10 years ago or something? Space Riders Vortex of Darkness, number 1, June 26th. I just got the trade paperback of that in stock at my comic book shop because I love the artwork in it. I haven't read it yet, though. I really should. Can you explain more, Drew? Just read the character in Justice League Dark, number 13. Seems really powerful. Has he always been that way? Yeah. Yeah, he's just super badass, powerful magician. I mean, he's interchangeable with someone like Felix Faust, usually, or something like that. He has a connection to Morgan Le Fay, though, a Thorian legend. So that's what separates him, I guess. I mean, like, even dastards is a word that it makes me approve. Even dastards. Like, if we talk about Dick Dastardly, we're screwed. We're screwed. By the way, who are your favorite characters on Wacky Races? See, that's what's funny is even dastards didn't work, Slime. That's so funny. Kidding, no, I'm not. It's been commented how I say awesome. No, I'm from Alabama. From Alabama. You're right, Bri Guy. How you doing? Haven't heard from you in a minute. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, Alicia, some of us overcompensate for our Southern accents. I always credited it to MTV. I watched a lot of MTV growing up. I said that at Heroes Con. I was meeting Tom, what's his last name? Krensberg, something. I don't know. He did Tarzan with Roy Thomas. He's from New York. And he was talking to me. He was like, "You're from Alabama? You don't sound like you are." I was like, "Well, I watched a lot of MTV." There we go. Every time you guys say Southern Bastards, I got to approve it. Or Dastards. So crazy. Yeah, we need a Blade solo book, Dylan. Absolutely. We're getting the Strike Force book, which is a team book that has Blade in it, so that's cool. And a little Blade pop right there. There's my Silverhawks number 1. Newsstand edition. What? Crazy. Joe, I am so ready for Hickman's. I'm so ready for Hickman's X-Men. And one of the big distinct pleasures and privileges of being a comic book retailer is I'll get sneak peeks sometimes at Vault. I mean, not Vault. I get Vault. But Marvel and DC number 1s. I've read Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane number 1. Both magnificent. Be on the lookout for those. But I'm just waiting to get an early look at House of X number 1. I'm so excited. Adam, you don't have to apologize for being late. We appreciate you being here. You're not late. We're an hour into it, but we still got a little bit to go. This is live, Adam, right now. This is live right now. No delay. Been busy with your first medical cannabis grow, homie, let me know where you live. I'll swing by, check out some things, and holler at you. What's up? Good luck. Is Jonathan Hickman doing creator-owned comics right now? Because I really need a preview of his writing for his comeback to Marvel with his X-Men run. Yes! East of West. Check that book out from Image Comics. Also check out other of his creator-owned work. Nightly News, Pax Romana, two of my absolute favorite Jonathan Hickman books. I highly encourage you to read both of them. Both of them are 4-issue miniseries. They're done. They're all completed and collected. Pax Romana, Nightly News. Read those two things. Read East of West. Read The Secret. Read Secret. Just Secret, not The Secret. Read The Secret if you want to. Read Secret by him. Fantastic stuff. He's doing a new one right now called New. It's Black Monday Murders. It's not done. He's in the process of still doing that. That one's really, really good. If it's got Jonathan Hickman's name on it, check it out. If you want to check out his superhero work, check out his Fantastic Four/FF run. Check out his Avengers/New Avengers run. That leads into Secret Wars. Amazing stuff. Well, thank you, Bright Guy. I appreciate the YouTube stalking. Yeah, the Blade Pop is cool. It was a PX exclusive, which means it's only available at like comic shops. So ask your comic shop for one if you can't find one. They should be able to have it. Sebastian, read Hickman's Fantastic Four and FF. Read his Avengers and New Avengers. Read it. It's so good. Yeah, Joe, it's really good stuff. Absolutely. Kitten and Bright Guy. You've been busy the last few weeks, man. You're better than TV. Do you have a degree in media? How long you been doing live? No, I don't have a degree in media. I've been doing the live stream since, like a year and a half or something now, maybe? Something like that. Almost a year and a half. Hadn't been that long. Oh, yeah, Manhattan Projects. That's a great one. That's a great one to check out from Jonathan Hickman. I want more Manhattan Projects right now. As much as I love having Hickman on the X-Men, can we get more Manhattan Projects, homie? Please. What is up with Patera? Because what happened to Leviathan even? What happened to that book? Yeah, the Red Death Pop I'm excited for. I never got the Dawnbreaker. It was a Hot Topic exclusive. I need to get one. I got an N at Hot Topic too, and I never use it. Never use it. I want to get all of the Dark Knights pops. Definitely. Definitely cool. Cool stuff. Let's look at Image Comics coming out this week. From Image this week, we have Ascender number 3, Rejoice. Beauty number 27, Deadly Class number 39. Headlopper number 12, that's a great book. Isola number 8, that's a great book. Kick-Ass number 15. Redneck number 21, awesome. Spawn 298. So those of you waiting for Spawn 300, it's getting close. Thief of Thieves makes its triumphant return with issue number 43. Weatherman volume 2, number 1. Interesting. I didn't know it was coming back. Yeah. I saw the Dawnbreaker online the other day. I'm going to have to just bite the bullet and get it. Need to read his Fantastic Four. Reading them in order. Just started Burns run. Awesome. Did you read the Kirby Lee stuff first? Are you reading all of them? Fantastic Four is my jam. This is yet another part of the program where I remind you to hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. From DC Comics, we got Action Comics 1012. It's crazy to say that. Batman Beyond 33. Batman Damn number 3 is finally here. It finally finishes. I think it's mediocre, but the final issue is finally here. No nudity, I guarantee it. The second printing of Batman Last Night on Earth is here. Rejoice. That was a great book. Books of Magic number 9. Detective Comics 1006. Dial H for Hero number 4, which has recently been upgraded into a 12-issue series. Flash number 73, continuing the Flash Year 1 story, which has been great. High Level number 5. Enjoy Vertigo while it lasts. Justice League Dark number 12 is out this week. Martian Manhunter number 6. Silencer number 18, the final issue, I believe. Terrifics number 17. Wonder Woman number 73. From Marvel, The Age of X-Men, The Extremist number 5. We're nearing the end of The Age of X-Men. That means that we are nearing the beginning of Hickman's X-Men. Amazing Spider-Man number 24, the first true post-hunted story. I'm excited to check that out. Avengers number 20, Black Panther number 13, Conan the Barbarian number 7, Doctor Strange number 15, Fantastic Four number 11, Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 8. That's been a great book. Great book. Magnificent Miss Marvel number 4, Major X number 6, the final issue. Yes, glad it's over. Marvel Comics Presents number 6, Marvel Rising number 4, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 44, Mr. and Mrs. X number 12, I believe that's the final issue, a Not Brand complete collection trade paperback. I believe I special ordered that. Very excited. That's some old school random stuff. Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham trade comes out too. Oh my goodness. I ordered that one too. Man, this is going to be a busy week for me for trades. Oh my goodness. This is big trade week. Runaways number 22, Spider-Man Annual number 1 with a Spider-Ham story. Be on the lookout for that. That's really cool. Spider-Man Reptilian Rage number 1, Star Wars 67, Star Wars Age of Rebellion, Darth Vader. Marvel has a big week. This is a big week. It's a good week in comic books. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge number 3, Superior Spider-Man 8, Thanos number 3, Thor number 14. We're not done. War of Realms number 6. There you go. Wolverine Exit Wounds number 1. Check that out. It's got Chris Claremont. It's got Sam Keith. And the final issue of X-Men Grand Design, Extinction number 2. That's out this week. Wow. What a crazy loaded new comic book day. What? That's crazy. Chris Cooper, with as many comics as you get weekly, I would love to see your long box collection. It's not that impressive, to be honest with you. It's mostly I have short boxes. They're easier to handle. All in all, I would say I have, taking the idea that 2 short boxes is 1 long box and adding it all together, I would only say that I have 15 to 18 long boxes of comics. I trim every so often. I purge. You have to. I have limited space for these things. I don't have a whole room for these things. I wish I did. I wish I had a whole studio space where I could keep my comic books, toys, have the studio set, all that stuff. That's what I want to. What I want to have is what we're building up to here. Your support, watching these videos, liking, subscribing, Patreon, tips here, all that stuff goes hand in hand to help us get to that goal. The more space I have, the more stuff I can have, right? No, the more stuff I can show off to you. But always purge. It's an important thing as a comic book fan, as a pop culture fan, as a collector, that you have to purge every so often. Got to let go. The act of letting go is cathartic. Absolutely. Glad you're looking forward to Weatherman, Alesh. Is it Alesh? Alice? Alesh? Like Bright Guy says, hit that thumbs up button. I'm sorry I say that so much, but you have to. You got to. Yeah, man, that Kirby Lee Fantastic Four stuff is amazing. I'm just right in the middle of their run right now on my Fantastic Four reread, which I'm always doing. Sometimes it's slow going, sometimes it's fast. As soon as I said hit that thumbs up button, I lost two people. Spider-Ham and Latour, is that who's doing it? Latour? That is perfect. Yeah, it is Latour. That's awesome. Yeah, short boxes all the way. Sebastian, I read the first issue and I didn't continue on with it, but maybe I will sit down and read the trade. I didn't think it was bad. I just still felt lost. Alicia needs to give me more space for comics. No, I need to give her more space to occupy our space as well. But David, you are one of those who are really going out of their way to help us get to one of those spaces. So thank you so much. Yeah, I've on average moved every 2 years over the last like 10 to 15 years of my life. And I will tell you that short boxes are better than long. But I will tell you that if you have friends move, they'll try to act badass and they'll carry 2 short boxes to prove that they can. Meanwhile, I'm carrying 1 short box. There you go. Man, Taffer, I don't have too much of a thought on the upcoming Amazon Prime series, The Boys. I didn't particularly like The Boys. I only read the first 2 trades of it, but it just wasn't for me. I didn't like it. I like Garth Ennis as a writer, but I don't like it so much when he's deconstructing superheroes. So that's just me. Hey, Alicia, you just got called lucky. I hope you remember that. So Vertigo is ending. We talked about that a lot already. It's been a buzz on Twitter, and it's been a long death. It's been a slow death. Like I said, it's like realizing that you got an old friend who's just not the same person. You guys just don't quite see eye to eye anymore, and you just got to let that relationship go, right? So I akin it to something like that. But let's reminisce real quick about how important Vertigo was. It was not the fact that they did mature content, meaning that they had a lot of, say, sex or violence or cursing or anything like that. That was a creator-owned, creator-operated line. Then that's why it was so important. Now, DC obviously, once they realized that they could make more money off their own properties, then they couldn't. They had these amazing properties like Preacher, Sandman, 100 Bullets, Fables, Why the Last Man, you name it, right? The Invisibles, Transmetropolitan, which, yes, as Warren Ellis pointed out, did start as Helix, but I'm pretty sure I remember Helix folding pretty quickly and moving over to Vertigo for the duration. Anyway, DMZ, the Brian Wood book, there's been so many great creator-owned titles. DC can't make movies and TV shows out of those because they don't own them. They don't own the properties that way. Once they realize that, like once upper management truly realized that, or new upper management or whatever, like mid-2000s, they stopped doing creator-owned work at Vertigo. That killed it. But you know who took that up? Image, Vault, Source Point Press, Aftershock Comics, Scout Comics. It's still alive. Vertigo is still alive. But in memory of Vertigo, what's your favorite Vertigo comic book? Everybody was asked this weekend, their favorite top 5, their top 5. I'm doing that in a separate video. That's the next top 5 I'm finally going to do. But I will spoil my number 1. It's The Invisibles. That book changed my life. And I don't even, I'm not filled with hyperbole when I say that. I mean that book. That book changed my life. So what's your favorite Vertigo comic book of all time? Let me know. Heck yeah. S Squared at the Huntsville Comic and Pop Culture Expo was the show we do here locally. My buddy Jeremy throws that on. We have great guests, good show every year. If you're ever in the States in April next year, you should totally make it. It's great. We have a booth there, PCP, and we also do a panel for the last 2 years. Both of those are on YouTube right now. If you typed in Pop Culture Philosophers comic book panel, you probably find it. Real fun show. At that last show, I found the last volume of my Invisibles Deluxe hardcovers at half cover price, and it was already going for like $100 online. So I was really, really excited. I did not resell it. It's down there with my Invisibles because that's my script, sure. David says he's converting all of his long boxes to short ones because he's old and can't lift heavy things anymore. See, Dave, I think that I'm taking that idea, and as I'm nearing 40 and my body is starting to show some aches and pains, which my body did this morning, but I was at Kroger before I did the live stream, a grocery shop, and on the way back, there's a Papa Murphy's right next to it. There was this old dude, an elderly gentleman, I should say, that had a pizza from Papa Murphy's, and he was walking across, and I stopped and let him walk across, and I looked at him, and he had the biggest smile on my face, and it made me filled with joy to go like, no matter how old you may feel, no matter how much you may ache, no matter how many pains you may have when you get up in the morning, it may be hard to get started nowadays. It may be harder to recoup from the gym nowadays. Pizza never gets old. And that really made me feel good about life. That happened today. Really good stuff. I followed Vertigo with DC anyway. They started with DC characters, Animal Man, Swamp Thing. All switched from DC to Vertigo to DC and now back again. Yeah, Hellblazer. Yeah, absolutely. I get what you're saying. A lot of properties were already DC creations. Alan Moore doesn't own Swamp Thing. Len Wein didn't own Swamp Thing. Bernie Wrightson. None of them. Eventually led into it, though. Sandman, They need Neil Gaiman's approval to do something with that. That's pretty cool. So now we're getting responses and about favorite Vertigo comic book. Scalped, Joe says. I've never read Scalped. David says Sandman, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer, Black Orchid, and Kid Eternity. That Kid Eternity 3-issue prestige format series by Grant Morrison is amazing. So good. That's a great top 5. Taffer says he enjoyed Clean Room from Gail Simone and see, had a lot of story left and ended abruptly. Is there still a TV series in development for Unfollow? I don't know. Last I heard, companies will snatch up rights just so no one else does them sometimes, and they'll never get made. I hope that's not the case. I hear good things about Clean Room. I was shouting out Batman's bookcase earlier. Zach loves Clean Room. I need to check it out. Death, the High Cost of Living is magnificent. Magnificent. But Wanda Beast, if you want to find our podcast, you go to popculturephilosophers.com. You will have no problem finding our podcast there. We are on iTunes. You should be able to find us through Pop Culture Philosophers. But the most direct way, go to popculturephilosophers.com. That's our website. There's going to be sections for blogs, videos, podcasts. Click that. The newest podcast is always going to be pinned at the top. Click the podcast tab. All of our podcasts are there, all 40-something episodes. You can download them. You can stream them right there from the website. Shout out to Pizza. Pizza never gets old. Just, isn't that a comforting thought? That really was such a surreal, memorable moment for me today. I see this dude, and I have been like, I feel like like today, this morning, I just had back pain, I had foot pain. It was just like, oh my goodness. And I'm approaching 40. And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're getting old. But then you see this man who's probably, I'm like half his age, maybe, right? And he was walking across with the freshly made pizza from Papa John's. He's going to go home and bake. He's got a big ass smile on his face. Pizza never gets old. Always enjoy what you can. iZombie's a good one. Why the Last Man from Sebastian. The only comic book you've read from Vertigo. You should read so many more. The Invisibles, Preacher, Transmetropolitan, Sandman, Swamp Thing, Hellblazer. So many good, Fables. 100 Bullets. I liked it more back in the day than I do now. Good stuff, though. See, and it's not just pizza. French fries, I don't think will ever get old for me, especially like tater tots. Amazing. I've never read Sweet Tooth. I need to. Animal Man by Grant Morrison is amazing. Issues of a comic book ever is the Animal Man #6 and the final issue that Grant Morrison did. 2 issues of Grant Morrison's Animal Man are definitively on my top 5 single issue comic books of all time. Think about that. It wasn't even Vertigo at that time. That was Vertigo in hindsight. Same with Doom Patrol by Grant Morrison. Carl's down for the Invisibles. He's part of the army. That's awesome. Chris says, Sweet Tooth. Pizza gives me heartburn. The wife and I bought a mechanical bed just so we could keep eating it. That's awesome. Pedro says, Sandman, Animal Man, American Vampire. Rock on. Great books. Well, thank you, Bawana Beast. I really appreciate that. I would say clean living, but that's not always the case. But don't underestimate the power of positive thinking. You have pizza party tattooed on your toes? That's so awesome. The two words that could instantaneously bring joy to Robbie at any point in his life. Pizza party. There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. I got a couple more things I want to get to before we get to show and tell, in which I'm going to be showing off some of the things I got signed at Heroes Con. Toe tattoos. Yeah, the Albuquerque's artwork on American Vampires. It's amazing. My problem, Sebastian, is it's hard for me to get a hold of the original IDW Transformers. I want to read it. I want to read it from the beginning. I want to get this whole idea. I love the Transformers. I'm not as big of a Transformers fan as other people I know, but I want to get into it more fully, right? But man, some of those trades go out of print. What's the definitive starting point, Sebastian? Was the definitive Transformers IDW story for me to read. Let me know. I'll read it. Let me know. I'll find it. I'll get it. I'll read it. Even if it's digital, I'll read it. Twitch. What do you guys think about Twitch? A lot of people have talked about it already on the channel, saying that we should go on Twitch. When I met Leon and Kangas this last weekend at Heroes Con, she mentioned Twitch. Thinking about doing a Twitch channel. Thinking about doing some live streams there, maybe on Wednesday nights for New Comic Book Day. Would y'all be into it? Are you into Twitch? What's going on? What do you think we should do? Let me know. Phase 1. So Transformers Phase 1, is that what it's called? Wannabe says they do not personally do Twitch. I get that. And Liana was telling me that there's a very positive community on Twitch. I'm not saying that we're going to quit YouTube. No way whatsoever. We have made a home here on YouTube, and we really, really like it. But I am exploring it because there are more options there on Twitch to interact at times with comic book creators. Seems like a cool thing. I'm thinking about it. We are sticking to YouTube, Dylan. It's our #1 thing. But I'm thinking we've already kind of set up the Twitch channel. We're thinking about doing it every so often. Definitely thinking about doing like a Wednesday night Twitch stream where we can all chill and talk about comic books, the new stuff, something like that. And if we were on Twitch, there'd be more of a potential to have comic book creators join us. So that's something I've been thinking. Tafford, it's basically because Greg Rucka had 2 story ideas he wanted to tell, and it was every other week, so there was room to tell that story, and I really, really liked it. When you read it in trade, it's really cool because what happens is in the present-day story illuminates the past, and the past story illuminates the present. I love that structure that Greg Rucka did. Thank you, Chris. I think the Wednesday night thing sounds really cool, too. It was actually Liana's idea. David, if I start twitching, just don't start getting naked on the stream. That will come back to haunt you. Yeah, I don't plan on that, homie. I think my naked days in public are over, hopefully, at this point. Pretty sure. What's up, Bateman? How you doing? Robbie, 2 down there, is the cat that I went to Heroes Con with. If it wasn't for Robbie, I wouldn't have gone. So thank you guys so much. Robbie, I'm about to get into show and tell and show off some of the stuff I got at Heroes Con. If Twitch equals more PCP, I'm down. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I got to check and see if I'm allowed to throw Twitch content onto YouTube. I don't know if I'm allowed to. I have to check into that. What comic do you think Jason Latour would do for Black Label? Well, first of all, is Jason Latour doing a book for Black Label? If I want to see Jason Latour in particular do a book for Black Label, how about Captain Carrot? That would be awesome. I like that S squared. I really, really do. So today marks the 30th anniversary of Batman, Tim Burton's Batman. That was one of the first movies I remember seeing in the movie theater. I was in I was about to go into 3rd grade. I loved Batman. If you guys haven't picked up, this is the new issue of Back Issue. Back Issue, first of all, if you want to know about comic book history, you need to read this magazine, Back Issue. You also need to read Alter Ego. But this one, the latest issue, is all about the Batman '89 movie. It's about the Jerry Ordway and Denny O'Neil adaptation. Great articles. If you want to know your comic book history, you need to read Back Issue. So there's a plug for that. What are your recollections of Batman 30th anniversary? I love it. Still think it holds up great. It's not my favorite Batman, not my favorite Joker, but it's amazing. It's great stuff. Swamp Thing, Jason Latour, Black Label, that would be pretty cool. That'd be really cool. Okay, cool. I have to check that out then. If I can throw my Twitch content over there, that'd be cool. We'll do like the Wednesday night live stream first on Twitch, and then we can throw it up on YouTube later. That'd be really cool. I'd do that. Either way, it is going to add to the idea of more PCP content, which maybe I shouldn't be promising because I still have a big desire to create comic books, and I have a few projects in the works, but they're so early because I haven't been able to make the time, carve out the time to do them, but I'm doing it. But Wine Beast, if you've never seen back issues at stores, what I would recommend you doing is check out previewsworld.com, check out the Previews magazine in shops. If you see an issue, a back issue, or alter ego that appeal to you, let your comic shop know, order it. Some comic shops, it's the only way they're going to get it. My comic shop, we only order one copy on the shelf, one or two on the shelf. So yeah, it's probably severely under-ordered, but it's great. I wouldn't necessarily say subscribe to each and every issue, but definitely pay attention to what's coming up. Look at their website. It's from Tomorrow Publishing, I believe. Tomorrow as in TWO, Morrow, I believe. I think. Maybe not. Where'd it go? But I would recommend it for sure. It is tomorrow, isn't it? Yeah, Tomorrow's Publishing. TWO, Morrow's Publishing. Be on the lookout. They do a lot of good stuff. Do they still do Jack Kirby Collector? I used to collect Jack Kirby Collector in the early 2000s, but I haven't yet. It says it's back issue is the name, back issue, but this one should have been called Bat Issue Money. Yeah, Jen Partel's work is amazing. Her work is so good. If you like her work, check out Blackbird. It's a new book from Image right now. Check it out. Oh, Frank and Bianca, I loved the ending of Silver Surfer Black. I love this ability that Donny Cates has to build hype up in his own books, and they're all connected. It's amazing. Good stuff. Good stuff. Jim Partel's amazing. The No Ones is a very dope comic. I never checked that out. I'll write that down so I remember it. Yeah, they still do Jack Kirby Collector. That's awesome. Yeah, I need to reread Blackbird. I love the artwork, but the story was decent, but I fell out of it, decided to trade weight, and there you go. Let's see here. We were going to talk about the Abrams Spider-Man thing. We've talked about that enough. Question of the week. What's your favorite hot dog style? I want to know, because tonight, you know I'm a Yankees fan. You know it. We lost today, but we did have 8 straight, so we're still in first place. We still feel pretty good. So we just recently got Edwin Encarnacion from Seattle Mariners, and so for the first time tonight, I'm going to have a Seattle dog, which means that it's going to have cream cheese on it. So it's a hot dog with cream cheese. I'm going to saute up some onions, some fresh sliced jalapenos, and I'm going to have one with sriracha and one with brown mustard, because those are 2 of the favorite toppings. I'm going to have it tonight to have the Seattle dog. I'm obsessed with different cities' versions of hot dog. My absolute favorite would probably be, it's considered like an Atlanta dog or a Detroit dog, actually, not an Atlanta dog. The Detroit dog is typically my favorite, and it's chili, chopped up white onions, and cheddar cheese. And I love it so much. That's my favorite. I also love the New York dog, which is sauerkraut, spicy mustard, and grilled onions. Great stuff. Great stuff. What's your favorite hot dog? Chris shouts out the Chicago dog. That's a good one. That one used to give me heartburn pretty bad. I don't know if it's the celery salt, if it's the poppy bun. It's probably the peppers that are on it, but they're good. I like a good Chicago dog. Good stuff. And if I had to pick, I would say Action Comics is better than Superman right now. That's just me. Charlie Blackmon's 11-game hitting streak. He hit 500 during that stretch. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's going to be tough to beat 56. But anytime a hitter gets on a streak like that, I think it's amazing. Yeah, sports are pop culture. I 100% think so. I didn't really read that Soul Killer book that much. Not too much. Max Bemis does some really good work. I think his X-Men, the worst X-Man ever, is really, really good. Oh, that's funny, David. Bacon-wrapped hot dogs with any toppings works all the time, Eddie says. There you go. Any other? Come on, get them in. What's your favorite hot dog style? You got one? What's your favorite way to eat a hot dog? We all eat hot dogs here. I don't eat pork. I eat hot dogs. I don't eat beef. I eat hot dogs. They're vegetarian. They are what they are. Put enough toppings on them, they're good. Let's get those hot dog questions in. We're about to go into show and tell and wrap up the show. Thank you guys so much. The pretzel dog. Yeah, good stuff. Kosher. More than kosher, homie. All right. Grilled bell peppers and hot dogs is the way to go, Frank and Bianca said. Grilled bell pepper and onions. Yeah, that's a great style. So that's the beauty about hot dogs. Same with pizza. Hot dogs will never get old. Alicia says she's ready for the veggie chili dog right now. So let's get into show and tell. So I was at Heroes Con. First thing I want to show off is my Usagi Book 1, Ronin. If you've never read Usagi Yojimbo, it's the best samurai tale that's ever been told in comics. Yeah, they're rabbits, they're rhinoceroses, they're animals. But this is still a hardcore, straight-up samurai book that's amazing. So I met Stan Sakai, the creator of this book, and he did a little signature and sketch. How cool is that? Did not charge me for that. It was an honor to meet Stan Sakai. This dude's been doing Usagi Yojimbo solidly since like what, 88, 87, something like that. It's amazing. Eat your hot dogs with chili, onions, and sauerkraut. That sounds good. That's close to the Atlanta dog, which is the Georgia, the southern idea of the slaw / chili dog. Really good stuff. The way Bawana Beast, when I was there, the way that Stan did it was the first 3 signatures were free, $5 for the rest if you wanted more, multiples, right? $10 for a head sketch, but he gave that to me for free. He just did it. And he did it to the dude in front of me. He's so good. Chris was at Heroes Con. Man, we should have met up. That would have been cool. There was somebody at the PCP Army that said they were there, but nobody ever came up to me and said that they knew me from the show. Krispy Kreme dog? Is that the dog that's in like a Krispy? I had Krispy Kreme this morning. I finally had that chocolate-filled glazed donut. It was heaven. It was heaven. Recommend you something that you haven't read by Matthew Rosenberg that isn't mainstream. 4 Kids Walk into a Bank. His best work, in my opinion. Chris, if you're a member of the PCP Army, show us some of those sketches you got. If not, join us. I met Rob Guillory, creator of Farmhand. There's his signature right there. Super cool dude. I told him how much I love this book. If you haven't read Farmhand, you totally should. I didn't own the first trade paperback, so I totally bought it from him. Didn't even realize he was going to be there. Team Rob. Team Rob for the win. I told you already that I met Sanford Green and Chuck Brown from Bitterroot. There they are with their autographs. We've got Green right there. No, there's Green. There's Chuck right there. So super cool. Bitterroot is an amazing comic book. If you haven't read it, I highly encourage you to do so. Absolutely. Loving Farmhand. It's a great book. What do you do with all your Call Me the boxes? After a while, they take up room. We talked about this a little bit earlier. I purge. Sell them to a comic shop. Sell them online. The hot ones especially. Give them away to people that are going to really enjoy them. Thank you guys so much. We have just as many thumbs up right now as we do people in the chat. That's super cool. That's never happened. Thank you. That's amazing. That's all because of you. Yeah, I purge. That's what happens. I gave my Fantastic Four. I met Matt Kent. I got my Mind Management Volume 1. My buddy Brian told me that he would sketch in it for free, and he did. So he did me a little head sketch, and he signed it for me. He was a super cool dude. Didn't talk to him too much, though. I talked to Carl Kiesel and Mike Grummett for a little bit, though, and I bought this. This was their Kickstarter Panic Button Press edition of Section Zero, a book they started in 2000. They're finishing it up right now. It's being released issue by Image Comics. I've been waiting 19 years to get the end of this book. I told Carl and Tom that, and they were both like, well, here's the whole thing already. So here it is. It's all of Section Zero right there by Tom Grummett, Carl Kiesel, and they were such super cool dudes. This is basically like the X-Files meets superheroes in a 2000s mode. Really fun stuff. They, of course, also signed it for me right there. Carl Kiesel, Tom Grummett. I spent a lot of time with them. They were really, really fun. Y'all should check out the Comic Cats YouTube channel. My favorite horror comic of all time is Hellboy. Yeah, see, I saw his record and comic set, and there was so much to do at Heroes Con, and I missed meeting so many people, and I should have gone back and met more people. It sucks. I did, however, get a print from one of my favorite comic book artists of all time. One of my favorite artists of all time is Francisco Francavilla. So I got this Dario Argento print from him, signed by him right there. As you can see, super cool dude. But I'm also a big fan of Suspiria. It's one of my favorite horror movies of all time, if not my favorite. So I got this one. Really love his artwork. Francisco is amazing. He was a super cool dude. He was so cool. Chatting with him was amazing. I did chat with Matt Wilson when I was in line to get that Sea of Stars book, which I remember now that is set aside. I didn't have it here to show off, but I did get that Sea of Stars ash can. Got it signed by Dennis Hallam and Stephen Green and Rico. Can't remember his last name. That was a real fun experience too. And chatting with Matt Wilson while I was in line and telling him about my experience wearing my Lucifer Died for Our Sins shirt from Wicked and Divine in Alabama. Oh, Taffer, that's awesome. Shout out to Scout. Category 0 is a great book, too. Thank you, Bawana Beast. We're about to wrap up. I'm just doing the show and tell right now. I think that Hickman's X-Men run is going to be jolting and jarring, but I think it will be fine, especially for old school readers. The new Hellboy stuff is okay, but the old school stuff is the best. Yeah. Francavilla and Argento together. Rico Frenzy, is that his name? Probably. YouTube lags less than Twitch. Good to know. Oh, that's really cool from Rich. Rich was chilling. He was like probably 6 feet from me when I was chilling at the bar, but I didn't go say what's up to him. I should have. Another thing I got at the Comic Con. First of all, I met Liana Kangas. Liana Kangas is the artist of She Said Destroy from Vault. First of all, you guys know I love Vault comics. You know I love She Said Destroy. I got her to sign my Saga homage variant, and I got her to sign my regular cover. She was super cool. What was really special for me, she knew who I was. She recognized me from the YouTube channel. So that was really, really cool and really, really awesome. She recognized me from the advanced reviews and all that kind of stuff. She's the one that mentioned Twitch and mentioned that maybe I should get on there and try that out sometimes too. She was so cool. I wish I would have made it back to her booth. But the Saturday before I left, I went back to her booth to chat with her a little bit longer, and she wasn't there. She's probably eating lunch or something. It's a long day. I did also buy the sketchbook from her that she did called Indigo. It's got lots of cool little sketches and interesting little things. It's got some really cool, there's a Spider-Gwen by her that's really, really nifty. But she also signed that one for me. Robbie, thank you so much, dude. Liana Kangas. That was super cool meeting her. That was a treat. What did I just do? That was a treat. Tenebrae is a great movie. It's not my favorite, but it's pretty good. It's got a great soundtrack, absolutely. Matteo Scalera signed my Fantastic Four cover that he did right there. He did a commission for my buddy Robbie. That was great. When I met Matt Fraction, I got him to sign my Fantastic Four #1 that he did right there. I had already had Mark Bagley sign that, so that was super cool to get the collection there. I met Jerry Ordway, who was a super cool dude. So let me find my Ordway signatures. Yeah, there they are. So Jerry Ordway, first of all, I got to sign this one right here. Adventures of Superman 424. Yeah, 424. One of my favorite iconic covers that Ordway did. I also got him to sign that Batman Jerry movie adaptation he did. That's appropriate to show this off today with the 30th anniversary of the movie. So I got him to sign that. And I got him to sign my Power of Shazam #1. And he signed this one particularly in gold, which I thought was super cool. I asked him what he thought about the Shazam movie. He said, they got a lot of it right. And he said he met Zachary Levi and knew the moment he met him that he was going to be great as Captain Marvel / Shazam. Mr. Miracle, right there, #13, written and drawn by Jack Kirby. Inked by Mike Royer. I spent a lot of time with Mike Royer. There's the signature right there. Mike Royer is a veteran and a legend in the comic book industry. He is a very interesting character, too. He actually hung out with us at the bar that night at the West End. So that was really, really cool. Really, really cool. Murder Falcon. Number 1, I got signed, the variant cover. I got signed by Daniel Warren Johnson right there. Super cool dude. It was nice to meet him. I got Tom Rainey to sign my Mutant X number 1. It's a teenager's dream come true. A child's dream come true is this right here. Carl Kiesel, Tom Grummett, creators of Connell Superboy, got him to sign my Superboy number 1 and my Adventures of Superman 501, which was the first ongoing appearance of Superboy right there. Not his first appearance, because that took place in Adventures number 500, and I got Grummett to sign that, and totally didn't have it with me when I met Jerry Ordway, or I would have had him sign it as well. Also got Carl Kiesel and Tom Grummett to sign my Section 0 number 1. I got Tom Grummett to sign my Robin number 1, supremely embossed foil cover that I have from when I was a little kid. And Francisco Francavilla signed my 0 issue and first issue of the Black Beetle, which I told him was like one of my favorite works from him. And I wanted more very badly. Very badly. So there you go. Heroes Con was amazing. It was such a great experience. I've got it going to the chapel out there, signed by David Papose. He's the creator of Spencer and Locke. That's a great book. I'll be doing a video about that one very, very soon. Him and Jorge Santiago, the artist of Spencer and Locke, they were great. But David's new book, Going to the Chapel, is amazing. Amazing. Good stuff. Be on the lookout for that right now. It's like The Wedding Crashers meets Ocean's 11. Really good stuff. That's exactly what's going to happen, Joe. Slime, I'm right there with you. Jolting and jarring is exactly what they need. Tony, what books to buy this weekend? Absolutely. Straight up, for reading purposes, get the Fearscape trade paperback, get the Interceptor trade paperback, and get the Wasted Space Volume 2 trade paperback. But definitely you want to check out Category 0, number 2. You want to check out Samurai Grandpa, number 1, which is a new one from Source Point Press. That's always low print run, so if it hits, it's going to hit. It's going to be rare. So be on the lookout for that one. Goon number 3 is out this week. Killer Groove number 2. Road of Bones number 2. Kanto number 1 from IDW, though, is the number 1 pick that I would get to like make sure you grab up this week. That and was it Mayhem Manor, whatever the new IDW Magdalene Visaggio book is. Check that one out. Absolutely. It was a great convention, Carl. I plan on going back next year. I'm talking to my buddy Lance about doing a table with me. Actually have a table there near Artist Alley or in Artist Alley or something like that. Indie Alley, they call it. But in Artist Alley. I'm thinking about doing a table with my buddy Lance, who I did the book Black Speck with. If you've never checked it out, go to dancepandacomics.com and find Black Speck. It's a 3-issue, all-ages sci-fi tale that I edited. Lance wrote it. Claudio Munoz did the pencils. Amanda Whitley did the inking. And Lance did the coloring and lettering himself. It's amazing. What's up, Adam? You're always on time. Bone Parish, I read the first few issues, thought it was great, but I've been trade waiting it. I need to get caught back up on it. Yeah, I need to get back on the Sandman Universe books, too. I have the Lucifer trade paperback because it's written by Dan Waters, part of the White Noise Collective with Alex Pagnadell, Ram V, and Ryan O'Sullivan, so really excited to check that out. Hey, how is the Apollo movie? Is that good? I'll have to check that out. But that wraps up the live stream tonight. This is probably one of the longest ones we did because y'all had some excellent comments, questions, concerns, all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for yet another brilliant live chat. I've had so much fun doing this. Robbie Rants Live. We will probably be starting a Twitch stream soon. So if you are already on Twitch, you can find us already on Pop Culture Philosophers. You can follow us, and you'll be notified immediately when we do the first one. I know that they're probably going to be not as populated the first few. We're thinking about doing that soon, starting a Wednesday night New Comic Book Day chat on Twitch. So be on the lookout for that. What's coming up here on the YouTube channel? Excuse me. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. my time, my Resonant number 1 advanced review comes up. So be on the lookout for that. Tuesday morning, my She Said Destroy number 2 advanced review goes up. And of course, late Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning is the weekly pop culture wrap up. Also, Later this week, Saturday, for instance, we'll be doing our Mortal Kombat movie review. That's because over at the PCP Army, we do these polls every once in a while about what movie you want us to review, what comic book you want us to review. And the last audience poll, audience choice movie review winner was Mortal Kombat from what, 96, 97, something like that. So we'll be releasing a movie review, a retro review on that one this week. Me, Jelani, and Brooks. Expect that like Saturday morning. So thank you guys so much for checking out the video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much. I don't know, Sebastian, why it made me approve that one. You guys deserve more subscribers. I really appreciate that. If you think we deserve more subscribers, share the channel, share it with your comic book friends, share it on on Twitter, on Facebook, all over the social medias. Let people know about the gospel of PCP, where we celebrate a shared love of comic books, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. This is The Stream. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. Thanks for rocking with us. Keep on reading. You love, you dig, you out.